Hello everyone. I'm gonna make a short trade recap I had today basically. And basically I had two trades, one A plus setup and one B setup. Yeah, let's jump into it. The idea was this, well, daily structure where like bearish, we are still in the deep discount, but we got this imbalance here, right? Looking into the monthly, it makes sense to continue low. Now we're gonna see if will. But yeah. So going here, I think this imbalance also, right? And was likely that the price gonna push higher and from this imbalance get some reaction, right? Like don't go straight through it. Well, this was the first idea, like the initial. Then I jumped lower on 4 hours and I've seen liquidity on this time frame. What I have seen also, then lower on like also we are in like we made a church and this is our new range, which is a bullish one, and it's in kind of premium, right? Still in discount of this big range, but yeah. Now going on 1 hour, I've noticed that inside the daily imbalance, it's also this liquidity. Yeah. Like you know, just look for confluences. Don't not trade at this point, but look for a level where the price may move. This was the idea. I looked here at this level first and did, but not like I think it's in a live I did in the morning. Like this move I didn't took any trade. Both trades are here, and both trade like one. This is the initial trade, right? But I'll tell you how I got a better entry because the initial trade was planned to be at the beginning of the imbalance. Now, let's see how. Yeah, this is basically the idea. Also, I had I have had this here. Like I mean, just liquidity. This is basically the daily range, so on and so forth. Well, here became the real analysis for the range. Well, first we have had this. Let's make it like this. First, I have seen this imbalance here, right, as a potential target. Like if I enter here, target this one. So also I got like this. This was the range of the 50 minutes. All right, still bullish, not nothing to say. Yeah, it happened. Like I'd like to show you on exactly how I played the trade because it's like there are two possibilities. One possibility was like see this rejection, like basically enter here, straighten the imbalance, and you know do this. But everything was bullish at this moment. And then I jumped lower on 5 minutes when this candle closed, like when 50 minutes candle closed. This is basically the 50 minutes week. I've seen on 5 minutes that here it's a church, right? Well, now this liquidity wasn't swept. This imbalance wasn't moved, like did nothing. But what we got now, it's also a 5 minutes range. These are 5 minutes and also 50 minutes. So 5 minutes range, that's what a range that's bearish. Like basically here happened the church, you can see it clearly, like we got a high, we got a low, we took out the high, then we took out the low. Like I can see it. If you don't see the church like this, then yeah, but this is how I see it, or how I plan to look at it. Then what I've got was going on 1 minute, basically, and see what's gonna happen. Well, I have seen some like that the level is likely to continue, and then I have drawn on default um some liquidity here, like not on default, but I have drawn some liquidity and watch the price, took out the liquidity, gone in the, but not only that took out the liquidity, but more like close bullish. So this was 1 minute range, then the range shift bullish, like right, then left the other bull behind, and I want to see if it's gonna continue. Like right now, we were sitting between two other blocks, between this one and this one, right? But this one was tested once. I see some consolidation, you see, and at this moment, the idea that this high gonna react, or this 5 minutes range gonna act also as liquidity for this 1 hour, just to trap many people. Or if not, it what was what it is, I would have missed the trade, but there is no bad thing. Well, perfect. What happened was I've seen this closure here, right? And I did look for a closure behind, right? In the range. Because if the closure, like 5 minutes range was bearish, right? If I got 1 minute closure back in the range, I could have targeted the low, right? But then I played next, like the price moved, like as soon as the next candle opened, the price moved like instantly, like two, not even 2 seconds, half a second, and instantly jumped, took out the liquidity here, and then paused for like 3-4 seconds. That's the moment I pressed the click, stop loss behind the imbalance. I got basically half the initial risk was 6 pips, right, on the trade. Um, and I got, I don't know, something like 29, like less risk, right? Also, like the initial trade I planned was somewhere in here. I thought to buy, like when I've seen the 5 minute chart, I was like, then that's it, and let's buy. You know, this being said, I basically buy right when this happened, and this was like the the B trade, I'll say, right? And then this happened, and you can see here you got a high, you got a low, right? Broke out, like took out the high, then made a church here, close back in the range. Well, then I did scale in the trade, right? At this moment, I scaled in. The initial trade took like 6 lots, and then I added 2 more lots. Why not? And yeah, target, like, the idea was target this low, but as soon as you target this low, right? 5 minutes will make also a church, and then you look also for a continuation, right? Where to look for a continuation in this imbalance, and so on and so forth. The idea is that the continuation happened. I rushed the second trade though a little bit. But look, eventually was like um, not a bad thing. But what you wanna see, it's like a closure back in the range, right? And then look for some level of liquidity, and after it enter. I didn't have any liquidity here, only one was up there. Now it's here a little bit, which I guess was taken now. I'm gonna mark it, and let's see. 1 minute equal highs. Um, yeah, and basically this was, after it managed the trade on 50 minutes, like, to be honest, I closed like the first trade. I closed it at 1 to 1. I don't know. I didn't like having two trades. Like, it. I felt like emotion, and then when I felt emotion, like, I lowered a little bit of position. Also, I did let only the trade with a better entry. In the end, was not bad, because I take usually $500, so it's gonna trade, and this one had like, I don't know, 200 or something. But it is what it is. Well, I didn't let it run on till down here. I was closing it here or something, but made also a little bit of sense, and you got to understand me, because and you got to understand why it was a plus setup, but also a risky trade, because look, like, a plus setup un, until this low, like, this was the 5 minutes range until this low. This was a plus setup, but after this low has been taken, even the 5 minutes made the church, right? 15 minutes was still bullish, right? But when this candle closed, 15 minutes made the church, and I didn't realize on the right when I closed the trade, but yeah, it made also a church, right? Which was a bearish structure in alignment with the imbalance and with this big um, move, or whatever it is, right? Well, then we got first target touched. Well, first target was basically Q-air of the initial trade, right? Like, this is the initial trade. First target was only like, if you have looked to the previous videos, you would have seen first target was Q-air. Well, closed a little bit earlier. Second target was 4-air. Also closed a little bit earlier. Like, I closed one lot here and another lot here. I didn't let it completely run till, because the order block was still in place, and if you look, the order block held. You know. Yes. yeah, and basically this was to have another idea like how it's going the trade right now. Leave 1 hour had still an internal bullish structure, but now the fractal it's bearish, in alignment with, not in alignment, but in alignment with retracement. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. It's sitting like, yeah, the I I do, or it's possible to come on 4 hour maybe down here in the imbalance, run some liquidity below those lows, and after fill the imbalance and then continue. But it's also like possible that gonna go right away. Now I have only 20% of the initial trade opened, and yes, this was basically the idea of the trade. uh let me show you also, like, this is the real trade with real executions. Yeah, this is like, this is basically the real trade. Here you see the executions. Well, not like those are the yesterday's ones, and it's like the 11, 11, 16. Yeah, this is the entry, and those are the take profits. And yeah, this is basically, this is for this is the idea of the trade. I hope you can get inspired. I hope like that, like 1 hour like internal structure was bullish, 4 hour still bullish. Like, it's no surprise that if gonna go and get the stop loss, there are like uh, reasons to do this. But um yeah, it's now depends. It may also, like, imbalance was tested, rejected, now may also go in the in this order block. I think it's very important how this 4 hour candle gonna close, because if it close below this level, it's very likely. If don't, it's like more likely to go to the upside. Now, considering how 1 hour looks, um, I am not confused, but I don't know. I don't know. It's more likely I'm gonna get stopped out. Also very. I'm curious if, yeah. Look, you have seen the 1 minute, uh, 1 minute lows I was talked about, and where should I have placed my entry. Um, eventually looked what of a move did it, right? But yeah, the swing structure looks bullish, but now we got an internal structure which looks pretty much like a swing one, in this. Yeah, no liquidity taken below, order blocks hold, so most likely gonna go higher, but we we see. So this was for the day. This was my trade, my analysis. Made some profits. Have had a good day. I got lucky though with the first trade, that after, like, even if I entered right here, it gone still in my direction, and yeah,